Dating is often described as exciting, a ritual of wine glasses, late-night laughs, and maybe a kiss by the bus stop. But anyone who's been in the trenches knows it's brutal, not because of bad dinners or awkward silences, but because of what's really at stake. Welcome to Filtered Society, where inequality meets social media. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, please subscribe. Every first date quietly carries a question too heavy for small talk. Who will be there when I'm old, when I forget my own name, when I can't walk across the room alone? That smiling waiter, that playlist humming in the background, they're just distractions from the real referendum underneath. Will I have to die alone? It's not just a night out, it's an audition for the rest of your life, and that's what makes it unbearable. Beneath the small talk and the half-finished drinks, there's always that silent cry echoing in your head. When will I find a home? Hope is the cruelest part. Every new match, every new message, every new night out. Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is when it finally works. You know the odds are microscopic. You've been through this before, months, maybe years. The faces blur together. Another stranger whose photos lied, whose energy feels off, whose "I'm just really into astrology" makes you want to sprint into traffic. You smile politely through the next 2 hours while your soul whispers, "This isn't it." You try not to be picky, but you can't trick your body into desire or your brain into peace. The heart wants to love, but the mind keeps noticing everything wrong. And when it collapses again, it's not just one night failing, it's every night that's failed before. Every childhood rejection, every parent who didn't show up, every breakup that hollowed you out. It's the universe sending one more cruel reminder that maybe you just aren't lovable. And when, by some miracle, you meet someone you actually like, that's when the next kind of heartbreak begins. They're just getting over someone. They're in a different place right now. They need to work on themselves. You nod, you smile, you say you understand, because you do. You even stay friends, because that's the mature thing to do. But after the 10th version of this, maturity starts to feel like madness. You imagine flipping the table in the middle of the restaurant, smearing yourself in hummus, and begging whatever God handles romance to either deliver or destroy you already. And yet you know you won't. You'll go home. You'll open the app again. Because rejection cuts both ways. For every time you've been ghosted, there's another night where you've had to politely end something you didn't want to start. You tell someone you're just really busy right now, when what you mean is, "I felt nothing." You walk away, guilty, tired, unkind to yourself for not being able to love on command. That's the real exhaustion. It's not the hours of swiping or the awkward dinners. It's the emotional fatigue of auditioning for connection over and over again. The quiet humiliation of being hopeful in public. You tell yourself you're fine, that love will happen when it's meant to. But you start to notice how many times you've said that. You start to wonder what's wrong with you, or if there's some invisible law of attraction that skipped your address. You're 2 bad dates away from giving up, from locking the door, from deciding solitude might be safer than hope. Because when you strip away the humor, the irony, and the filters, dating isn't just about finding someone to share a drink with. It's about finding a place to rest from the ache of being human. And if you're still out there, still trying, still swiping, still showing up, then you deserve something more than pity. You deserve understanding. You deserve grace. And maybe, just maybe, when the gods stop laughing, a little bit of luck too. But there's another layer here, one we rarely talk about. Modern dating isn't just emotionally brutal, it's economically designed that way. Every failure feeds the system. Every heartbreak is monetized. Dating apps don't sell love. They sell the illusion of it, an endless cycle of almosts. The algorithms are built to keep you single, not satisfied. The longer you search, the more swipes, boosts, and subscriptions you buy. Your loneliness isn't a bug in the design, it's the business model. And the more you feel like something's wrong with you, the more likely you are to pay for the privilege of trying again. Hope becomes currency. Desire becomes data. Every picture you upload, every chat you send, it's all turned into content. That's the dark symmetry of the dating economy. We're not just customers, we're performers. Each profile is a tiny audition for love, curated, filtered, optimized for attention. The apps flatten something sacred into swipeable content. Even rejection is gamified, a brief sting of dopamine withdrawal designed to send you back for another hit. The human search for connection has been rebranded into an attention loop. Romance has become reality TV, except now you're both the contestant and the prize. And like all content industries, the reward isn't happiness, it's engagement. Social media bleeds into it too. We don't just date people anymore. We date their highlight reels. Every anniversary post, every hashtag couple goals photo, every engagement montage becomes another piece of content, convincing us that everyone else has found what we're missing. You're not just single, you're publicly single, measured against an algorithmic feed of people who look happier, richer, and more in love than you. It's a system that profits from your comparison. It feeds your hope just enough to keep you hungry, then starves you with silence to keep you scrolling. The cruelest part is how normal it all feels. You tell yourself this is just how love works now, that ghosting is modern etiquette, that vulnerability is too much, that loneliness is just another phase of adulthood. But deep down, you know this isn't natural. You weren't built to be swiped on, ranked, or optimized. You were built to be known, and being known requires risk, patience, and imperfection, all things that don't convert well into content. Dating apps sell the dream of intimacy without the mess of humanity. They give us access to everyone and connection with no one. So maybe the real act of rebellion isn't deleting the apps. It's remembering that love was never supposed to be efficient. That chemistry can't be measured in clicks. That connection can't be coded into an algorithm. That you can't hack your way into being chosen. Maybe real intimacy isn't about being the most desirable profile. It's about being the most honest one. Maybe love begins where the marketing stops. So if you're tired, you're not weak. You're waking up. You're seeing through the illusion. You're realizing that what's broken isn't you. It's the system that turned something as fragile as affection into a marketplace for engagement metrics. They told us dating was about romance, but they built it like a slot machine. And every time you pull the lever, someone else gets paid. The antidote isn't cynicism, it's awareness. Because once you understand how the game works, you can stop mistaking exhaustion for failure and loneliness for proof that you're unlovable. You are not an algorithmic error. You're a human being trying to connect in a world that keeps selling you simulations. The next time you swipe, scroll, or post, remember, you're not just making a profile, you're creating content for a platform that profits off your longing. Love deserves more than that. You deserve more than that. The people who make you feel seen, heard, and safe, they're not buried in an app. They're out here, living, waiting, fumbling, and hoping just like you. So keep your heart open, but keep your eyes open too. Because love isn't hiding behind a paywall, it's hiding behind the noise. And maybe when the noise quiets, when you stop performing, stop optimizing, stop producing content out of your loneliness, you'll finally meet someone who doesn't need a filter to see you. Someone who doesn't want your brand, someone who just wants you. And when that happens, you'll realize that love isn't brutal after all. It was just buried, under the algorithm, under the hustle, under the endless performance of trying to be chosen. Real love was never gone. It was just waiting for you to stop scrolling long enough to notice.